Hi children, in our today's class, we will learn the concept of changes around us. In our surroundings, there will be a lot of changes. Few changes will be called as physical changes and few will be called as chemical changes. Chemical changes are one which cannot be taken back after the change, which cannot be returned back. Irreversible generally they will be called as. Those are chemical changes. Physical changes are those which can be get back. They are called physical changes. Example for physical change is ice get converted into water. We can take, if we cool the water once again in refrigerator, we can get back it as ice. So this is physical change. What is chemical change? For example, if you pour a little amount of curd into the boiling lukewarm milk, it gets converted completely into curd. It's a chemical change. We cannot get the curd back, milk back from the curd. Okay, once it have happened, once it converted into curd, we cannot get it back. So that is chemical change. Likewise, in our nature, we are having some physical changes. We are having some physical chemical changes. We shall try to learn regarding that concept. What is composition? In science, composition refers to number and types of atoms of the molecules that make up a substance. Number of atoms or number of molecules combined together to form a new substance is called composition. Example, water. Water is a composition of H2O. 2 hydrogen molecule and 1 oxygen atom combined together to form water. Iron oxide is nothing but rust. It is composed of Fe2O3. తుప్పు పట్టడం అంటారు. ఐరన్ ఆక్సిజన్తో రియాక్ట్ అయ్యి రస్ట్ ఫామ్ అవుతుంది. 2 iron atoms ఉన్నాయి, 3 oxygen atoms ఉన్నాయి. Likewise, we are going to have different kinds of growth of a plant. Okay, electric bulb will be grown, formation of coal. Okay, these are all different kinds of changes we will observe in our nature. Physical change. A physical change is a change in state, solid to liquid. Shape may be changed, or appearance of the substance without changing the chemical composition. Chemical composition does not change there. For example, melting of ice to water, cutting of paper into pieces, boiling of water into steam, and breaking of a glass. These are all come under physical changes. What is chemical change? It is a change that alters the chemical composition of a substance, forming a new substance, one or more different substance or new substance. Rusting of iron, tuppu pattadam, baking a cake, milk converted into curd. Okay, these are all come under burning of a candle. These are all come under chemical changes. Next, composition of a substance does not change. Material will be the same. No new substance is going to be formed. Usually reversible, this physical change. Energy changes are usually minor. In case of chemical change, composition of a substance is going to be changed. Total, it will form a new substance. One or more new substances are going to be formed, usually irreversible, which cannot get it back. Significant energy changes will be involved. Reaction, that is H2O solid get converted into liquid, that will be H2O only. Paper whole, paper cutting into pieces. Dissolution. Here, in case of physical change, we are going to get the concept of dissolution. What is dissolution? It is a process of mixing of a substance in liquid to form a solution. Suppose salt is mixed in water to form salt solution. It is called dissolution. Okay, if you heat the water will be evaporated and we can get it the salt back. So it is physical change. But in case of combustion, we cannot get it back. It is the process of burning of a substance in the presence of oxygen to produce heat and light. For example, propane, or for example, you take wood. If you burn, it just converted into coal. We cannot get it back wood from the coal after once it has become coal. So this is a chemical change. Okay, propane and all, these are little bit higher concepts, higher level concepts. We'll learn them later. Right. Next thing, if you light a candle, what we can know from this? Place a candle in a holder and light it. Observe the candle as it burns. The solid wax melts and absorbs the heat from the flame and turns into liquid. Liquid wax moves up the wick and burns to produce new substance. So solid wax will give you carbon dioxide. Okay, carbon dioxide. Wax react with oxygen to get carbon dioxide and water vapor even. Oxygen. Wax react with oxygen here. Candle wax react with oxygen to form carbon dioxide and water vapor. Little bit moisture will be there. What are the differences between physical change and chemical change? In case of formation of new substance, in physical change no new substance is formed. Here new substance is formed. In reversible, physical change can be reversible, but chemical change cannot be reversible once it has changed. The nature of change, it is temporary physical change and that is permanent. Amount of energy, very little amount of energy is going to be absorbed or released. Given out means released. There large amount of energy is going to be absorbed or released in case of chemical change. Next concept is rusting of iron. What happens when an iron or steel object is left exposed to air for a longer time? When iron or steel object is left exposed to air, moisture, for a longer time, it reacts with oxygen and water in the air to form rust. Rusting is the process in which iron reacts with oxygen and water is called rusting. What happens there? Oxidation. Oxidation is the process in which a substance reacts with oxygen. So, a substance reacts with oxygen is called oxidation. So, iron reacts with oxygen and little amount of moisture to form iron oxide. It will produce a new substance, it is a rusting of nail. Tuppu pattadam. The reactants will be iron and the product will be a rusted one. So this one we call it as a chemical reaction. Next thing, microorganisms cause coagulation of milk or rancidity of butter. Chedipovodam anamata. So due to microorganisms. So this is also one of the chemical reaction. Okay. And next thing is burst of cracker. If you burn the crackers, chemicals will be released, that is heat, light and smoke will be released from cracker. So chemicals, so they react with the oxygen and form heat, light and smoke. Next thing is examples of physical change, that is melting and freezing. Ice melts into water, water melts into ice, water freezes into ice. Ice cube melts when heated, forming water, and water freezes, forming ice. Physical changes do not result in the formation of new substance. Here no new substance is formed. Ice get converted into water. This is different state only, but it is not a new substance. Just state example of a chemical change. Here copper sulfate solution, this will be the color of the copper sulfate solution, and react with sodium hydroxide to form sodium sulfate and solid copper hydroxide. Precipitate, blue precipitate is going to be formed here. Precipitate is one which will be formed at the bottom of the test tube. It will be solid, around thick substance, just like the solid one. Next, water. Examples of the chemical change. Water get converted into hydrogen and oxygen. It dissociates, it splits into hydrogen and oxygen during a chemical change. The original substance water changes to new substance hydrogen and oxygen. When once hydrogen and oxygen is formed, they cannot we cannot get back through hydrogen and oxygen, return H2O, water cannot be get back. Okay, this is what we call it as chemical change. Example of burning of wood. If you burn a wood, it will form an ash, okay, and smoke with heat. A lot of chemicals will be released. And some examples of physical and chemical changes here. Cutting of paper, melting of ice, melting of wax, dissolving sugar in water, glowing of bulb, magnetization and breaking of glass. These are all common physical changes. Cooking of food, baking of cake, rusting of iron, formation of gas, burning of a candle. Right? Blackening of silverware, germination of seeds, ripening of fruit. These are all come under chemical changes. Few things will come under both boiling of milk, burning of candle and dissolving soda. These are all the examples of physical and chemical changes. Thank you children. If you get any of the questions in that, you can answer it. You try to, don't neglect the questions that which I have given. Okay, if you try to answer all those questions, you will get the content. Okay children, thank you, bye. We will meet in the next class.